Welcome to game number 2, ladies and gentlemen. Let's go ahead and pop into picks and bans. They are ready to go. I'm Brandon. That's
Nope.
Bart.
Nope.
This is Yannick?
Yes.
DJ Pernicus?
Okay, yeah, great.
DJ Pernicus.
No, Bart, Brandon, and TSM Snoopy at TSM Snoopy if you want to follow the man in the middle.
Hey, that's
here
me.
as we're in picks and bans. Circuit and Naja
I can't believe it.
off the board.
I won't
Wow.
believe it.
Surprise, Capri.
Capri.
Who knew it?
Who is it? Hell?
Oh my goodness.
What are these bans?
See, what you guys don't know is we pre-record this, and they're actually running the same video.
Well,
right?
no, this is all that happened. They just talked to the admins, and they were like, the regular thing? And they were like, yeah, the regular thing.
I think we have
These are the correct stats.
percentages.
Yeah, those are the
Woo.
correct stats. Thank you, Snoopy. 48% pick rate, 42% ban rate. That means 100% participation, and then 44% of those
Well,
wins.
that would be
on
90%.
Zeus.
That would definitely be
That'd be
90%.
90%, Bart.
Yep.
But
No, that's 100%, dude.
I like the
8 plus
effort.
3 is 12, right?
Correct.
Wait, hello? I can't breathe. All right, so Zeus, Bellona. I mean, I can't believe they gave them Bellona again.
Cyclone looks... this is the like a complete topsy-turvy thing that Envyus has done now since the role swap, is that they're picking Cyclone's gods first.
That was awesome. By
Yeah.
picking Soul in that spot, because they knew Zapman was going to take it away and not want to deal with this time, we actually saw the player cam cut to Zap's face, and it was just like, damn.
I'm also... So is Eager going to go back to Xing Tian? If not, Envyus is going to draft it, and they're going to put Bellona in the jungle. They've put a lot of pressure onto Eager with his Bellona first pick.
I think my favorite stat is that Soul has 102% pick ban rate.
102?
102.
Hey, man, sometimes...
That's actually a little low.
Yeah.
There it is.
Yeah.
Sometimes you got to be a little extra, you know?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, have you seen that character?
She's
Do you know what
102%.
Eagles Rally does? Like,
Xbalanque enjoying 65% wins in this tournament. Xing Tian also at 64%.
clearly
believe
a
that
much
one.
worse character.
Yep.
So how do you think Omega's feeling about going back into this Bellona lane with Xing Tian?
I think he's fine as long as that Bellona doesn't rotate and get a kill at 3 minutes in the game.
Well, we got
so
the same draft through 6 picks here.
Hun Batz and Neath, right?
Yeah.
Oh, no, they can't ban Neath because Soul's already picked. So they could just ban Hun Batz, and now things have to change on the side of Eager.
Do you like this idea from Eager, Snoopy, to just run it back?
I'm not really sure. I do like the gods, but I think they just have to switch up how they played a bit.
Still, I mean, I have to assume they're going to try to hit Dare here. With Zeus being on the table, Lassiz picked,
Yeah,
Zap's
but the Thor
picked.
wasn't really a big issue. I mean, that's one thing that's pretty curious about these two teams. Neither of these junglers are known for their Thor play.
And I really wouldn't be too worried about...
Oh,
hey,
the no
the
ban
old-
ban.
The old accidental pass.
Yeah? Accidental, you think, Snoop?
production
would
calls.
assume-
That is
No,
accurate.
that's what Envyus
It is
chose.
accidental.
No, that is confirmed.
Wow.
Envyus chose to pass their final ban.
And a Mercury ban coming out. No surprise here. With the way that Weekend got that huge turnaround on that team fight, hitting 3 people, forcing 2 sets of beads, and then just almost globaling Zapman. Hun Batz is going to be the one to take in. That's why they didn't ban. They knew they were going to ban the Mercury here, so he wanted another major team fight jungler.
Yeah, so they take the Hun Batz. Also, not only a team fighter, but also really the only other jungler that is a late game crit machine, like Mercury.
Geb Thor?
I really want to see what Dare goes here. Oh, wait. Thor's up. Never mind.
I just said it.
Goodness.
His Thor earlier in the tournament looked a bit better than his Thor in that last game.
Thor with a 40% win rate. Surprising.
Well, I mean, to be fair, they kind of caught him in a weird way.
And on the 40% win for Thor, I mean, he's just played in so many games.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, it's just not that surprising. He has a huge participation percentage.
Envyus getting a very similar comp, only one god differed. Mercury traded out for Hun Batz. On the other side, Eager running back the same exact comp. That is very rare. We normally don't see a 90% same god, same role,
Yeah.
same team.
I mean, I can understand from Envyus with being the winning team
Right,
trying
yeah.
to run it back, but it's not too often that you go into the same game. Maybe they're just thinking it was those early picks that the team comp was solid and sound, and they want to run it back and definitely do better this time.
It must be. I mean, well, the thing is if Eager manages to win running back that composition, it's probably a bigger morale boost than having redrafted and winning somehow, right? They probably feel better going into Game 3 if they win this. Like, okay, it was a fluke. It was just us getting double killed in the duo lane at minute 1. Let's not do that. But, you know, if they lose here,
I think
they're
when
not going to Worlds. I mean, you know,
when you're up in
it.
semifinals and you're playing for Worlds and you know there's a wild card spot, there's something in your mind that says, I don't have to be too worried. I want to win, but I don't have to be too worried. right? But here, it's like if you're eager, I don't know how they're keeping themselves together.
I want to tell you,
panicking.
like last night, we went out to Battle and Brew, which you probably heard us talk about on the stream a couple of times for press dinner. And some of the players were there, obviously, not everyone playing today. A couple of eager guys were there. They were going at, like, I think 9 o'clock, and Lassiz didn't even show up. So I mean,
Lassiz didn't show up to a bar.
Lassiz did not go to the bar.
Hello?
So, you know,
Damn.
obviously kind of joking around a little bit there, but...
I mean, I'm not.
It's definitely goes to show you that these guys are serious. I mean, Eager kind of known for being a team that plays a little fast and loose.
Lassiz's subscriber button on Twitch is a glass of beer.
Yeah, no Lassiz at the bar.
That's very impressive.
They went there to get dinner, and Lassiz didn't go because he wanted to like prepare and sleep. So, shout-outs to Eager. I mean, they're definitely got their heads in the game for this one. Not going to be a repeat of that very famous launch tournament loss.
Yeah, many moons ago.
Mm-hmm.
Eager has been on the cusp of greatness for ever.
Yeah.
Since the beginning.
Well, that's the thing is that they were this squad, or most of it, certainly the core was like the most dominant Smite team up until it started to really matter. Right, like the second that they started being big prize pools, big tournaments, big international events, that's where they fell off. That's where the rise of the current Cloud9 team started, the Cognitive Prime roster.
All right, it is started. Again, we're looking for 16-second timing here. It'll be about a second behind. Top side, Incon going to have a really good push into lane, especially considering it's a 5 or 6 step less of a walk from the Chaos side. Over in the jungle, it looks like this is about even. Hun Batz not quite as proficient as Mercury, but they still get a 33-second timing out of the blue buff, which is incredible. DaretoCare probably going to have to, I guess, forego the first side and rush over towards lefts. No, they're going to fight.
I don't know if they're going to be able to kill it in time. Card is down, however, but Lassiz is pretty slow. Double tap on the hammers. He's going to move
That's
in.
big.
There's the chain lightning as well.
Oh, it didn't connect.
And no, yeah, they don't get the chain. I guess he didn't throw chain off. I actually think chain lightning was down from him clearing the wave, and DaretoCare just takes some poke. And now, Envyus can aggress onto the left side, and there's not much that Eager can do about it.
And I don't think that... Yeah, he actually pulled one and then jumped away, so the chain lightning didn't work. But I don't think Dare got either one of those. It didn't look like his experience bar had jumped up enough.
No,
so
400 gold advantage for Envyus, so they got both those camps.
And now both level 3 right now. Zapman again pushed under the tower. I mean, hell, at least he's not dead this time.
Yeah, for sure. With that soul push, though, I like what Kiki did. He got that lane clear and then rotated over to those left camps, which they knew were up. So given that 3-2 advantage, player-wise, like there was nothing Eager could do about it.
And once again, I want to highlight a big piece of criticism that we had for Envyus in the first set that they played Soul, not earlier in this set, but a previous set, where it was Purple Pot Soul, but they weren't really doing anything with it but letting Allied passively farm.
Right, they weren't Purple
faster,
Pot.
question mark. And this time you saw it really played out there, right? In game 1, they get the first blood. Game 2, he's got Xbalanque poked out, forcing him into his pots, and freed up some room for the support to rotate in and get a bit of extra experience at those mid camps to carry them for the team. So playing to that Purple Pot's advantage is a little bit better here is Envyus, and they're finding themselves a nice little lead through the first few minutes of the game.
I hope not.
No, it's ticking back up just a bit.
Yeah, just okay. I was going to say, if he stole that with reach, that hurts, because that is what tilts players. Dying, it's like, okay, I can get back into this, but like losing a camp because they're in your jungle and not getting pressured out, like guys, why is he here? Like, why is this allowed? Why didn't anyone call this? That's when the arguments start.
Look at how efficient Soul is at forcing out PBM's mana. I mean, every time he hits him with one of those solar bursts, PBM's having to throw out the Stone Shield to avoid getting poked out, and is starting to chip away at his mana pretty heavily here. He's sitting on just 1 green, 1 blue pot remaining for the landing phase here.
Look at that. Reach, 1 auto attack canceled into the taunt, auto attack canceled into the shield wall. That wasn't a shield wall 2 combo right there, and Zap still took a third of his health.
I think this is really tough, though, because Xbalanque Geb is probably one of the slowest clearing lanes versus Soul Athena, which is one of the highest clearing lanes.
Is it not the highest?
It's the B,
I don't
man.
know.
Yeah,
the B plus Kefri is pretty strong, too.
By the way, we
Kefri.
heard like all these rumors about a Muzenkob, and I'm just like, there's no way anyone's playing that character this weekend.
Barrel play it.
No.
And in finals?
In the finals, yeah.
After he's already made Worlds?
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe.
Maybe he's up 2-0.
Yeah, if they're up 2-0, they're going to play
no.
it. Though I bet you the Barracuda will play it into Soul.
How many times did they practice that against you last year before bringing it out against Titan?
Well, I'm gonna throw this one in there. I was the original Muzen Cabin scrims.
Okay.
Oh, you were the one that brought it into the scrim pool, huh?
Scrim pool, and
So
then,
they owe you, what, 100 grand, right?
something like that, yeah.
Yeah. Barracuda, man, so rude.
But yeah, he plays it really, really well, and it's just so tough versus anything even like remotely mobile on the enemy team. You just can't get away from it.
Yeah, that's the problem. If
Right.
they have, you know, most of the cast of Smite, losing Cobb's not going to have a very good time.
Right side mid camps go the way of Envy once again. Left sides to spawn soon. The red buff, or I'm sorry, the blue buff has come back up on both sides. You see Omega and Dare getting that. Dare's smart to avoid the mid camp fight without Lassiz and just go and get some form of experience. Cyclone's going to take his alone.
Here, Brandon, about, as Xbalanque ultimate comes out for the mid lane, Thor's going to come in, but leapt away by Weekend just in time.
Overcommitting here.
DaretoCare. No, they're just looking for these mid camps. The Athena ultimate's going to be used to secure them for the side of Envyus, and they will get them cleanly.
That's a win for Eager. It was ult for ult, except one of them took the mid camps. Another big win. I mean, you'll notice there's no kills on the board, and Envy still has a 1,000 gold lead.
The one thing that I do want to say about it is Envy had 3 power pots, whereas opposed to Eager's 1 power pot. So around the 5-minute mark, it's going to be about.
Wait, Incon had a power pot?
Incon had a power pot.
100 gold.
Soul had a power pot. Yeah.
So I mean, their lead basically is even at this point.
Yeah.
Then
It's maybe just XP. From those extra camps that they got with the power pod pressure.
well, let's see the graphs here. Let's see where the experience is. And oh yeah, 1,300. That's not a bad. It's not a bad call. It's a
You
good
know,
way to
here's
spend
one
money.
thing I want to talk about with this Eager draft and what they've done. I mean, look at the itemization, right? It was a Transcendence Rush from Xbalanque, and you took the Geb. They just sacrificed so much of their early game. With that Transcendence build-up, Xbalanque can't fight until he has at least another item, maybe 2.
His timing was perfect on it, though, to be fair.
PolarBearMike has to babysit him. They concede a lot of pressure and a lot of creeps into the tower there. They're sliding behind and experiencing gold. Zeus is really early game oriented as well, and they're not getting much out of that pick. You know, like, there's just something that's disagreeing in this composition for me and the itemization. They have 2 sets of cooldown boots and a Transcendence. Like, they can't fight for a really long time. They're very, very far behind in
And they're going to
damage.
have 3 sets of cooldown boots because Lassiz very rarely builds pen.
No, they have 2 currently, but that's like... Yeah, oh, you're saying they likely will.
They're
right,
gonna,
so you're like,
yeah.
they're going to not have enough damage to team fight Envyus before 10 minutes. And
Whereas
Envy
Incon
may look to force it. As you look on the left side of the map, both Hun Batz and Athena are here looking to make a play. Likely to dive the tower here to Zapman. Taunt. No, just on the mark from Kiki.
I mean, I don't even know. I mean, even if he hit that, I don't think.
Oh, no, Weekend's coming over that wall. Fear no evil. That's an
would've
easy
been
kill.
You think so?
Close. It depends on the level of the taunt, I think. If he's maxing it, then perhaps.
He's definitely maxing shield wall. Kiki likes damage.
Yeah. Then I think he would have been able to get the dash up before he lands on
Oh,
the
wow,
ground.
going real deep here. That's going to be an ultimate use, but he actually gets zaps in return.
Darkest of Night's going to be used there in addition to that Soul Ultimate. Xbalanque sitting at about 50% HP, just underneath his Tier 1 tower. Zhong Kui, Hun Batz. That's a team fight in a can.
You know, honestly, I think if Envyus wins this game, one of the biggest things we're going to go back to for maybe even years will be the fact that they passed their ban here for the jungle pick on Hun Batz. One of the smartest plays I have ever seen in my life.
Look at their ward penetration, especially on the left side here. Gold Fury is going to be set up by Envyus shortly. They have wards all to the left side of that Tier 1 tower in the Eager jungle.
It's more mid camps, man. Every mid camp so far has gone their way. That Thor wall wound up hurting them. Omega didn't want to use his jump to get in there. He didn't have blink, so there was no way for him to engage safely. Had he just jumped in there randomly and got countered by the Hun Batz ult, there was a possibility he goes down. So DaretoCare blocking off the path there kind of hurt Omega's ability to initiate. Hey, Eager's going to get mid camps, though.
Maybe Zhong Kui card through the wall, perhaps?
No,
only
they're
detonated
gonna.
by Zeus.
That was the
And that's
4
why
spells.
you pick Zeus, right, is to dominate those mid camps, and it's just not happening.
Wow, this is almost still about 1,000 gold, so Eager has stagnated at least a little bit. Actually, it's gone down. The 1,300 gold stays, or rather, experience stays the same, but the gold was 1,100. Now it's only 9.
Just before the 8-minute mark.
What you
No
doing
fight
there,
just yet,
Jay?
no Gold Fury just yet. DaretoCare camping out his own blue buff. They think that the aggression is going to come. They want to try to make the play onto Soul, but Allied staying way back in this lane.
And it looks like they'll be able to get the purple buff safely here. I mean, I think that was a good option select. Dare puts himself in a position where if Allied moves forward, he gets a kill. Otherwise, I get some experience. And he will be spotted
Now
by
he's
that
followed
ward.
yeah.
Yeah, and Allied's going to just dip right out of there. And you notice the purple is already down, so he's just like, I'm not going anywhere near this.
Yeah, no reason for him to be up in the lane. Athena and Zhong Kui split a back camp there. Likewise for Xing Chen and Zeus.
So with the purple pot being down by this point, I feel like Xbalanque has the upper hand, specifically because he has matched that gold, and while, yes, there is a level disadvantage, Xbalanque's endgame is just obviously much better than Soul's.
Yeah, for sure. Soul, more of like a poke kind of damage. Or if Xbalanque gets on you, you're gone.
It's it. I mean, you're just going to hold that.
Yeah.
That's why I think Mercury has been so successful for Envy, is because he's the only character in the game that can go up to a hunter and go, I don't care about what you're doing because I do it better.
Yeah, for sure.
And faster.
You don't have sprint. I have sprint.
Yeah.
And it makes me stronger.
It gives me 70 damage.
Was it
Gives me
2-3 damage?
Yeah,
Something like that?
4 I think.
Dude, I really thought it was
100?
like 10.
I was
once
getting
upon a time.
upset. I love Merc, so I know like those numbers kind of like off the top of my head, but speed buff giving you like 25 power, sprint 30
Well,
power.
it got buffed recently.
Yeah,
the
that's
passive.
Not enough to make it 10 power.
I
But-
guess that's true. Actually,
yeah.
no, it was like a
it was
it's
really
like
limited.
almost a 50% increase in the damage.
Yeah, it used to be almost nothing.
I wouldn't say almost nothing, but
It
I
was
mean,
really low before.
it was like maybe 15. Now it gives you like 30.
Yeah, before, I mean, like, you remember the Mercury passive before was basically like, you can buy Heartseeker and not have any stacks because it's still kind of worth it for the power.
Yeah.
Right? And, like, that was, like, pretty much the only thing that you saw the
What
passive
in
do.
the world? Weekend going super deep dare, taking to the sky, and it's actually,
Oh.
they're going to reinitiate. Weekend tries to turn it around, but Weekend might be the first blood here. He's going down.
Yeah, he will go down indeed. Zapman going to try to walk into this fight on the backside, but here comes Sol and Zhong Kui moving forward. Lassiz finds himself in trouble. The bag of demons doing just so much. Pen boots!
Yeah.
Pen boots, my friend. Pen boots do a lot of damage, don't they? Zapman going to try to run out of this one. He's going to
Dare
get
needs a
carded.
wall
He's
here.
going to get Bellonaed. He's going to get bludgeoned.
Oh,
He's going to get
Xing
dashed into.
This
Doesn't
is
matter.
big.
Down he goes. CycloneSpin comes up big. Xing going to try to turn this one around, but he's forced to bail out of this as well. It's 3-for-1 trade. Weekend's ultimate is enough. The initiation done by the initiator.
The first blood winds up being really great, but they overcommit so hard, and I think a lot of that had to do with the fact that Athena's 25% damage reduction kept Weekend alive long enough to force them to overcommit. They're smart here not to go for the Gold Fury with Omega hanging around, but Omega just uses jumps. He doesn't realize that he's caught between a rock and a hard place. Incon looking, doesn't go for the card.
Yeah, I think they are gonna. Well, their red buff is up. They took left side mids, right side mids as well. Like they're just focused on farming. Over trying to get secure that kill on the Xing. It's a low percentage play anyway. They don't have the CC remaining or any ultimates to try to burst him down. And he's just very tanky with that silver breastplate.
I think one thing that really needs to change this game is the shell needs to come out early for Eager.
They're in the same spot. There are 3 open actives on the same players.
They're gonna look back at it if they go on to lose this game without a shell. They're gonna look back and they're gonna just like facepalm.
But I don't understand. Like you said before, that's how they were winning against Cloud9.
That's how they beat Cloud9. Yeah.
MLC Stealth came up to me and said, Zhong is useless.
He loves that character.
That's
What?
right.
And
yeah.
if he's saying that,
Eager made one of the number one Zhong Kui players in the world say this character is bad when he has
One
a
of?
90% pick rate in this tournament. And now they're just letting Incon.
Do things.
They are who we thought they were. And we let them off the hook. That's
Yeah.
what's going on here.
Yeah. Gold difference wasn't too bad there. They don't lose too much. They only actually lose about 100 gold. You see that large spike and then the spike back down. The third kill wasn't worth as much, but the experience difference goes way down, about 2,000 gold. I don't think that was the end of the world there for Eager, but I mean, the comms have got to be getting a little darker.
Oh. Kiki
There's
not gonna throw
out.
the taunt
Purple
there, but
buff.
maybe a fight breaking out over here over the purple buff.
Why is it?
We
How
can-
is that alive?
Why is Weekend still in there? What a madman.
Lassiz
Look
took
at
a
the
lot of
damage on the
damage.
Lassiz there. Why is Kiki doing so much? Is Athena dashing back in with a taunt here? 4 in the choke. Not going to happen. Letting this one go for now is Envyus.
Kiki's playing a girl 2 games in a row.
Classic Kiki.
That's all I'm saying. Like, last game he dominated, this game he's dominating. Like,
Better than his Gebs and his Capris and whatnot.
very clearly.
If you guys are just joining us here, it's 12.5 minutes. Up 1-0 is Envyus. This is a best-of-3 contest to see who goes on to play Europe for the wild card spot. 1 more win for Envyus or 2 for Eager to end the set. Here comes a Hun Batz ultimate breaking out. In a lot of trouble is Zapman, but he's not locked in there by the Thor. Luckily, he's able to walk out of that
Wait,
one.
Dare's in the air. No, he chooses the better
No,
outlet.
no. Yeah, he can't fight that.
I mean, it's DaretoCare.
If you guys are just joining us, 13 minutes now, 3-1. On the call, it's I am Bart. There's Brandon as well, and our player is Snoopy at TSM Snoopy on Twitter. If you want to hang out with the Canadian Wonder.
that's me, I guess.
Yep.
Canadian Wonder.
Jeff
Canadian
Henla.
Wonder.
Medium? Vicium?
Vishia.
Oh, a lot of trouble here.
Cataclysm,
Kiki
knock
getting
up.
low, but Allied able to turn this one around pretty cleanly.
Yeah,
Hey.
into the corporal form he goes.
Hey. You should. Snoopy's face changed when he turns into the little sun there. He's just like, oh, all right.
What do you think about
Yeah.
Soul, Snoopy?
I think she's good. I think she's definitely overhyped.
Yeah, a little
But-
bit. But I mean, she's still very good.
Yeah.
She's still a top tier character.
For
I
sure.
just think people are maybe overestimating her a little bit.
Just a little bit. She can be ridiculous at times. Like being able to dive towers and go immune
And throw
all that
Xbalanques off the
stuff.
tower and do the most structure damage.
Yeah.
She's going to get this.
Yeah.
That's hard to deal with, especially as poor Xbalanque.
Yeah, he really can't do much. A lot of the times his dash is forced by the 2. You don't want to take that with 300-400 damage poke from Soul unnecessarily. So there's no real chase potential or follow potential that he has.
If this were you right now, would you have picked Xbalanque into Soul the way that Zap has 2 games in a row?
Off the first game, probably not. Maybe switch up in the second game. Maybe go for more of an aggressive hunter or Neith. Neith out-clears her or does just as well. Has to sustain built into her kit, and just can. If she gets that root, even it's going to take 3 seconds before she can go into corporeal form.
In the first game, Eager actually banned Neith, and then it was 10th pick Soul, so they couldn't counter. But second game, it was open. The counter pick was there, and I think almost everyone, like you said, is picking Neith.
Yeah.
Well, remember they second pick Xbalanque though in this draft.
That's right.
So they would have had to second pick Neith.
No, they picked it after the Soul.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it was
Zeus.
after Soul. That's right. Yeah, it was. Yeah, Soul was second
It was
picked as well.
Zeus, and then
Bellona
Bellona Soul, and then
Yep.
Xbalanque.
And then Xbalanque.
So
I
it
think
was
we'd
the
like to
second
see
pick for Eager.
even from Zap, maybe like a Hu-Yi or something that can maybe go toe-to-toe with the Soul, where Xbalanque's kind of like, he's throwing out the poison darts, but...
Oh, not quite. But Zapman's going to be forced to dash here. He's in a weird spot. Geb Shield does well. Zap's one hit. Incon's carded him. He will die.
Into the back line goes the Thor as well, just trying to disengage now as DaretoCare. Lassiz doing what he can. Eager running away from Envyus here. Gold Fury going to be available. Let's take a listen to the Eager's comms as they're going to have to fight 4v5 into this Gold Fury.
They're not on it yet.
But we
Hun
still
Batz
have
is on the
Bellona
purple.
behind
Hun
us.
Batz is on the purple. They're all on the purple.
Are we fighting them?
I
I'm just
don't think
poking
so.
out Athena here.
Not for the
'cause
purple.
She's
They got the purple. I'm coming. Okay, I'm
They're
not gonna shield Omega. He's
somewhat
really
weak.
tanky.
It's just Lassiz zoned out here.
They're not on gold. As long as they're not on gold, it's alright. They got purple.
she's
7
still
seconds.
zoning me.
I'm just gonna go get right tower. At the very least, I can get the tower if they get
Hun
gold.
Batz back.
Coming to the wave.
I don't think it's a big deal if I do.
Cyclone's middle still.
Don't push it. Don't push it.
I don't know. It's really not fun. You'll always get down to half HP with Soul.
Yeah. Soul at the Gold Fury, as you heard Snoopy there talking about, like, it's just tough to pick it up there. And Envyus, I think they want to force a fight, but they both teams kind of know that without that life seal from the Hunter, it's not that easy for Soul to sit there and tank that Gold Fury for the rest of the team. But they have started it up now, at least in the counter-warding department. Fight continuing to break out. Xbalanque poked out and forced out. Rising Jaguar expended. In will come PBM.
That was great. That was great for Eager. Cyclone took so much damage there. He doesn't have Teleport 3, although he could back and buy it at his whim. But it's going to be hard for him to control. Another Sentry Ward, however, wasted. And that was the last ward in the inventory. They've lost this gold fight. And CycloneSpin and Weekend have a slew of wards in their inventory.
Yeah, 3 sentries still remaining on the side of Envyus. So
Plus
they'll have the
2
vision
regulars.
Control. Yeah, they'll have a.
They're gonna
they'll
win
have a
that.
lot of vision control here for the next 2 minutes or so. It looks like around wherever they really want it. Right side camps are going to go to Envyus. Left side is going to go to Eager. It appears.
Detonate.
Soul going to throw out the sun.
No, not in time, though.
I'm gonna keep harping on it, but no shell picked up for Eager still.
We got an Aegis from
Yeah.
DaretoCare. I don't know about all that.
There seems to really like his beads, Aegis, or moving Aegis combo. He likes the Thor dunk in, beads, and then moving Aegis out.
It's the classic Pon Pon.
Yeah. Now you
Except
can move. Pom-pom
DaretoCare
can
doesn't
move.
live with 1 health every single time.
Yeah.
Yep.
How did he do that, man?
Pom-pom luck, man.
It is real. It's real. Snoopy knows. That's why he wasn't starting roster. He didn't have that luck.
There also, I don't think, was like dots in the game then. There's like
not
past
as
that
much.
bleed was like it.
Yeah, that's true.
So,
Oh no, Xbalanque.
was Xbalanque even in the game when Pon was playing?
Yes, except I
For
mean
like
he was bad.
1 week or something?
Yeah, he was never picked.
Yeah.
He wasn't picked until season 2, really.
Yeah.
18 minutes in though, Envy leads that same 1-4 as they did before. They have about a 2,200 gold difference. DaretoCare is going to spot this. Immediately, Allied gives it up. And this is a win for Eager right here because Allied doesn't have a way to heal that health back up. Radiance is not the best heal in the world.
Yeah, and if you, yeah, so I mean, like, Xbalanque was an ability hunter,
Yeah.
Yeah.
right, when he launched.
Max that 3.
And then once his base attack speed went up as part of Split 2, that's when he got real good. Real hard to
Envy
deal
is
with.
spending too much time controlling a Gold Fury that they already have controlled and not enough time farming around the map. Right there, they might have even been able to take it, and they didn't take the opportunity.
Yeah,
I
it
think
seems
they
like Envyus
definitely
is
got that.
like scared to actually fight it. They just want to force the fight on
Actually, they just want to take this purple. And they took it again, every single time. I guess once of the three, Zapman did wind up getting it because Weekend overcommitted to it and didn't actually get the killing blow. But, I mean, they're just camping this purple buff. And I don't think they're doing it to try to put Zap behind and farm. I think it's more just to, like, try to get in Zap's head. Like, how many times have they invaded his jungle successfully now?
And you saw I just missed a couple last hits there.
Yeah, it's rough when either side, either blue or purple, when that's just getting invaded over and over again.
They're starting it and then immediately abandoning PolarBearMike.
What is this? What is going on? Sumi, can you like somehow make this make sense? It like Envyus continually walks in, allied auto attacks gold free 3 times, gets hit 1 time, and goes ow and runs away.
I'm not really sure. I know when I'm playing, I'll always go over like, especially as a hunter, I'll go over and like tap the gold free a couple times, see what they do, see what the enemy team does, and if they just give it up, then they give it up. But it's not even doesn't even seem like that. It just seems like
Well, they
want
got a sentry ward there the last time.
Yeah. It's like they're trying to bait the fight, but they don't want to fight. I don't know.
Kiki going in onto Zapman in the back line.
There's going to be a fight here.
Too much trouble. Zap panicking super hard, and he's going to get turned around. Zapman forced to beads.
Let's take the Eager comms again here. Zapman's in a lot of trouble. The team trying to rotate in.
Nice.
Zhong Kui's
I
just
still have my
diving.
ult. I still have my ult. I have shield in a sec.
Athena. Nice job.
Nice
Nice
job.
job.
Yo, Zhong Kui.
I have my shield. I'm
Nice
ulting here. I'm
Aegis.
ulting here.
Good Aegis. Good ult.
I have to shield myself. I'm out.
Shield.
That's okay.
Keep running.
Everyone out. That's 2 for 1. 2 for 1.
I have a chain lightning here just in case. I'm zoned.
2 for 1's good. 2 for 1 is really good. I still have my
He
blink,
can
by the way.
easily kill you guys. You gotta back up. Okay, I'm
Yeah.
backing. Shit.
That was good. Good job, guys.
Yeah.
Keep playing patiently like that.
Yeah.
Defend middle.
I still have my blink. My ult's up in 50.
Eager doesn't sound shook there as they find 2 kills for 1 over Envyus. Seems to rally the team a little bit. You can hear him saying, don't get shook, don't get shook. Let's play this nice and slow. Don't overextend.
I love the reinforcement, too. Nice Aegis. Good play. Like, they're trying to keep the morale up in the team.
What year is this?
Zapman
Zapman not raging in comms, being a charismatic leader.
This is great.
The year is 20XX.
I mean, like, Zapman World Champion has been years in the making, and oh yeah, look at this. The difference in the team fight.
The
at
shell.
PolarBearMike.
Great job, PolarBearMike. Finally did it. You cracked the code.
This actually could be all they need.
So yeah, I mean now like with a little bit of map control, Eager can easily take this Gold Fury. Xbalanque excels where we've been talking about Soul's deficiencies at the objective clear.
DaretoCare getting a stun and a double tap, and no, okay, thought we were gonna get the chain lightning too. The Sentry Ward does get cleaned up, however. Kiki able to put one behind the Gold Fury and take it
Lassiz
down.
the only one holding a Sentry Ward currently on the map.
I think Eager should have taken a more aggressive stance in that situation. They poked weak into half, and he either could sit around at half HP or back, and either way, they're going to have at least 20 seconds to do something with that.
With all the health on the board for Eager, I want to see some pretty early Soul Reavers come out for Envyus. I'm talking like 4th, maybe even 5th item, but I think like 4th item is a possibility here with, I mean, there's 2 E-Staffs. I mean, Thor is now going into what's probably going to be Mail of Renewal. I mean, there's a lot of health
Soul
on the
Leader
board.
for the Xbalanque adding quite a bit of HP.
I agree to some extent, but it's really tough to get it on, maybe on the Soul, but on Zhong, there's so many core items that you want to get done. You want to get Spear, maybe some cooldown, maybe some even more health. Like, Gem of Isolation is so good on Zhong.
Yeah, it's got to go to the Soul if at all.
And I think Gem is probably the best bet after the Spear, considering it's going to give him some tankiness with the health. But more importantly, given the fact that his damage is going to be low, we need to see Incon transfer into more of a supportish style role. Very similar to how Kiki would play the mid. Gems, Void Stones, thing to increase the team's damage, maybe not so much his own.
Void Stone would be pretty good here.
Yeah, Void Stone would be great here, considering how much damage Lassiz is doing.
Or Pythags, likely to be picked up between one of these 2 mages on the side of Envyus.
Have I ever talked to you how much I love aura items? I love them.
They're good things.
They're great, man. And Pyth, especially on Soul, like, much needed lifesteal.
Yep.
It's a ton of lifesteal.
It's hard to give up that. Soul has so many good items to pick up.
She needs pen.
She needs pen, she needs cooldown from a lot of situations. I don't know if the rush cooldown is difficult to say, but Polly's really good, obviously, with that rocking on the 2. And then Ratatouille on all mages, because that's just the play.
Next item for Soul has to be penetration, though.
Yeah, definitely.
Spear, Obsidian Shard, both good. I mean, even could go Void Stone.
Probably
Yep.
Spear.
I just don't want the double spear. I mean, it's not bad. You're still getting the spear like you're getting the flat 15 off of the base.
It's Zhong.
Yeah.
Right, he's going to apply that spear.
It's going to be on there, for sure. I would like to see it, honestly, whenever I play Soul, I like the Demonic. It applies off the 2,
Yeah.
and you still get that extra attack speed. She's not
Plus-
only ability-based.
Plus, that stacks.
Yep.
Which is
Yeah,
important.
I love the Demonic. And
Yep.
that's kind of what we've been talking about a little bit with this Soul build-up. Allied has gone primarily for this build I think exclusively, in fact, for Allied. Book, max CDR, into a little bit of pen, route it to Hootie, and then something luxury later on.
Snoopy, will Demonic Grip proc off of the 2, off of Stellar Burst?
Yes.
It will?
Yes.
There you go. So that plus a spear, actually, should apply both at the same time.
Yeah.
Damn.
Doing true damage.
That's some nonsense. Weekend has been the victim of many a double tap this game, constantly at half health.
Another thing with the soul builds is like, I don't know, one thing that seems really deficient is not getting any lifesteal early on. Like, I think that, you know, maybe given a long enough timeline, you'll see that somehow like Divine Ruin will end up being core on this god.
Here's baiting here. He's just trying to get the Sentry Ward. They do get it.
Right, like getting a really cost efficient lifesteal item is huge for Soul, I think.
Yeah.
And like that's why Polynomicon is favored. It's mostly the lifesteal, I think. Like the bonus damage is nice.
12% is good.
Yeah,
Wait, I'm sorry, 15.
10%.
10%.
It's the lifesteal that is really like makes it such a great like third or fourth item in
only
this kit.
10?
So
You
like
sure?
why not just buy, you know, I think that maybe you'll start seeing like just the casual Divine Ruin picked up or even a tiny trinket held onto by souls for into the mid game. Because with your 1 plus just enough lifesteal, you can kind of emulate that Hunter at the Gold Fury scenario.
Yeah, well, talking to Barracuda about it, his build is the cooldown boots straight into the poly. He really likes it, obviously he likes it for the poly, but he does like it for that in-lane sustain that you do get with that lifesteal.
Gold Fury started up here by Envyus. They haven't fully committed yet, but the fight is breaking out. Shell's going to be used already. Zhong
Too
Kui ultimate
early.
coming out. And now,
Incon's just getting the ghost off now. He's too far in the back line. He's not tanky enough to deal with 3. He will be able to escape. Dare missing the ultimate as well. As CycloneSpin gets in there. Still has Eagles Rally. Incon still alive.
Hun Batz ultimate doing so much there. Forced out of this fight is Zapman. Lassiz as well. They're going to try to pile into Omega. It's DaretoCare that the Eagles rally will hit. However, for now, Incon, what are you doing here? Get out of here, buddy.
Oh, he can get out for free, Xing, but he still got carded. Slowed him down a little bit. Only Cyclone taking damage. Weekend pushing the lane up, backing off now as you see Zapman going to maybe get his second
Try to
purple
lifesteal
of
up
the
a
game.
little bit. I think he's going to try to lifesteal so that they can contest this a bit.
It seemed a little odd. They kind of just let Incon walk away. with
Wait, Omega in the
400
back line.
HP.
Going for the steal here.
He's going to find
Omega's
one.
going to find Incon. It
He
gets
can keep
reset.
going.
This is going to actually go to Eager. There goes the chain lightning. Detonate. No, not
Ooh,
good enough.
reset.
Cyclone still sticking to Lassiz in the back line, but Zapman is back and he's pretty healthy.
Eager should fight this for sure. Chase this out. Omega's got a lot of CC.
Omega's going to continue in here. He's going to hit by 1 bludgeon. Zapman on the backside. He's going to try to walk down Kiki. A couple more in-hands. The taunt is there. That means those auto attacks are guaranteed to hit once the taunt comes out. Continuing to fight is Eager. Down will go Soul. Omega's going to still live for now. Geb moving forward, trying to find Hun Batz. Weekend went back to the base. Envyus dropped 4 kills, overextending into the Gold Fury.
Weekend's going to try to make the play here. Has his ultimate up. It's up in 2 seconds. He should be able to steal this, actually. Omega,
nice.
beautiful ult on the return, however, doesn't let it go down. Eager winds up taking it. Weekend in a bad spot as Dare comes from the sky and finds the return kill. We got ourselves an even game.
Yeah, this one's basically dead even here. Just take a look at the graphs. Only about 400 gold separating the team's experience. Down to 2K, still in favor of Envyus, but not an insurmountable lead. Certainly, Zapman also finds himself the recipient of a couple of kills in the early stages of this game as well, giving him that bonus 10 power now, and the Xbalanque is starting to get online.
The big difference there, Omega got the teleport, Cyclone didn't.
Yep. Yeah,
Cyclone just died.
that was looking pretty dire for Eager. Or, Eager until Omega got that teleport behind the Gold Fury, that little ward right there. And just came up, snuck him down, and didn't expect it at all.
Now Dare feeling himself a little bit. Yeah, see you later.
He knows better.
And he gets out immediately. But wow, 27 minutes in, it's only 1 Gold Fury and 16 kills, but this has definitely been the game that has kept me on the edge of my seat the most.
Oh, for sure.
There's just so much on the line now.
Now a gold lead for Eager, experience completely washed out as they farm the map out after that fight and get the Gold Fury secured. Back to dead even here, 28 minutes in. Can Envyus find a way to get this one back into their advantage, or is the momentum just too heavily in favor of Eager now?
They're going to have a hard time dealing with this 3-0 Xing. I think that's going to be one of the hardest parts of the game. He's just going to be in the back line. Soul can't do a ton to him, and he's just going to be chasing around for days.
We got a Frostband Hammer coming out from Bellona. This will let her stick a little bit harder to characters like Zeus and characters like Xbalanque, force out a little bit more as well. It really needs to come down to better ultimates from Lassiz, though. We have not seen the big ults. Just another little
Just
slap
watching
box.
this happen, I mean, yeah, there's nothing is phasing the Xing now.
He has 3,700 HP. That's crazy.
Sorry, what? Hello? No salve, though. This is where I thought he'd have the salvation, not on Hercules. With 3,700 Xing healing everyone for 6K. Or 600.
Imagine 6K.
Yeah.
It's like
Sure,
Chiron.
Shard used to be in the game.
Goodness. Shard.
Shard.
Bart doesn't even remember
Shard?
Shard.
I remember Shard.
Shard was
Shard was a great
Shard was interesting.
Shard was
That's
a good
for
day.
sure.
Double Shard, 5 shards, 5 meds. Go.
Yeah.
Healing meta. Get one of those
Shard's never been
Aphrodites.
removed.
One of
Shard's
those
a good
hells.
item.
What?
Shard's a good item.
Dude, bring back Shielded Recall. Let's go.
I liked Shielded Recall.
When it first came out, it was OP. It was like a 1 second or 2 second cast time, and nothing could stop it.
You would just use it against the Odin Zeus combo on cooldown.
Yeah.
It's great. Speaking of which, where's Odin?
Man, I dislike Odin. You keep preaching it, but
That shell is active. Lassiz is not taking a lot of damage here. This is the shell we've been looking for.
Yeah, that one did mitigate most of that Zhong Kui
Let's
ultimate.
take
Lassiz poked
Wait.
out underneath his own
no!
tower.
He
The blink-
teleported to the wrong person.
Yeah, I don't think he realized that it had blinked behind him. He just didn't see the Spirit Monkey. Thought he could move forward. Into the back line goes DaretoCare. No
Omega.
kills netted just yet, but poked out pretty heavily is Eager. It's going to come down to this Xing 10 Xbalanque able to hold this front line now.
Man, the difference in the team fight once that shell has been bought, right? Lassiz should have been dead there, but because of that reduction, it kept him alive long enough for him to get out. He baited Weaken just a little bit, and Weaken doesn't find the teleport. The teleport could have been good. I think he might have needed a crit, but I mean, he's got potential there with that Deathbringer.
yeah, definitely.
It's just a coin flip. Get that 50-50.
I think Omega needs to be in mid lane right now. If Omega's stuck with him and pressured, Allied, yeah, even
Oh, wait,
corporeal
Aegis,
form.
corporeal form? No, Zapman gets the kill.
Did that? How does that work? How does that interaction work? If you're Aegis right as you're about to go into corporeal form, does that stop the corporeal?
I believe it would,
form? Okay, I think that's would have happened. But
It looked like he popped it and then Aegis immediately, so he may have needed a second.
gotcha.
That I mean, but I'm not 100%
Yeah.
sure.
That's one
When you
thing
look
I
at
did
other
see.
channeling abilities, right, like the Zhong Kui ultimate stops when you hit Aegis.
I think all logic went out the window on this ability, though. To be fair.
I think they changed that with Zhong Kui ult. Because I've definitely seen moving Aegis Zhong Kui ults running at me, and I can't do anything to him.
Eager in a
And
good
it's
spot
tough.
here. That one kill. How are they suddenly up 2,600 gold? 2,800 gold? They were even off the gold.
Want to fight?
Fury.
Take a tower.
They got
Yeah.
they got some towers.
I mean, that's how it goes, man.
This is where Eager strives, man. They are great under pressure, and for them to battle this back after being down and losing the first game.
Hey, boys. Xing 10 the one. Picking up that Gem of Isolation first.
Dude, I love Xing Chen with Gem of Isolation.
I haven't played against it, but I hate it.
The one
Right now.
will dot
Just
you
looking
and
at it.
repeatedly. It's like a Zhong Kui card.
Yeah. No, I know.
Hey.
I'm going through it in my head, and I hate it.
Even
It's
the
a-
jumps.
It's a Zhong Kui card that also reduces your attack damage.
And his percentage HP. Whew.
Yeah.
And that's even more health for Omega.
4K?
3740 right now.
How's
What
that
can he
possible?
get? What can he get? That
How does health only go up 40 finishing a Gem of Isolation?
it doesn't go up at all from tier 2. I think.
It goes
Oh,
to
yeah.
50.
Oh, okay, right.
Does it-
Because
does it
you already
go
had the
50?
uncommon sash.
Yeah.
But he
Gotcha.
still has Mark of the Vanguard to sell away.
That's a bonus 100 HP.
150.
What's that going to turn into?
Something with health.
He's already got E-Staff. He's got Gem of Isolation.
Doesn't really need physical
Mail of
defense.
Renewal. There's no weakening curse. Hell yeah, Mail of Renewal. One kill. Game's
Maybe
over.
some magic defense.
He's already at 40% CDR. That's the only thing.
Oh,
with
is he?
That.
Oh, he has cooldown boots.
Wow, Brandon.
Come on, man.
Look at that.
Maybe still get Mail of Renewal.
You would have been real mad at someone for doing that.
I think I would get, in his situation, I'd get a Bulwark or something. Just go
Yeah, magic
more
defense, I
magic
agree.
defense, health. Why not?
Runic Shield. Let's go, boys.
Physical item.
Dude.
But I like the idea.
Build it anyway.
Build it anyway.
Come on, man.
Mid-Guardian Mail, maybe some anti-attack speed, Witchblade, something like that.
Mid-Guardian would really, really help him against this team. Given the fact that he's shutting down some of Soul's damage, he's shutting down...
Nope.
Oh, it's going to be Voidstone. That's even better.
That's good.
Increasing Lassiz's damage. Perfect.
Yeah, but no HP, boy.
Yeah, he needs
feels
more.
bad. All right, sell
I
the
was hoping
boots
for 4K.
Bulwark. Who needs boots?
Not
Xing
Xing 10.
Chen's
He's got
actually
2 jumps.
pretty quick.
Yeah.
Like, he's got those jumps.
He's got Blink and 2 leaps. Like, what do you need boots for?
He could actually sell it for Wingblade.
Yeah.
That would actually
I
be
could see it.
Even further overcaps CDR, though.
No, he sells the cooldown boost.
Oh, right.
So he'd lose 5%, but he'd gain 300 health. He'd lack damage, but then he'd gain slow immunity, making himself faster if he gets hit by a slow, which
The
he
theory
will.
craft. Put it in the crack calc. See if it's good.
Ship it.
You think anyone ever uses the Cret Calc?
Kret does. Yeah.
He does. I've never seen him like
I
actually
don't know.
put it to work.
I assume Kret would use it. Patented crack calc. Yeah, Yeah, I don't know.
Fly on the wall during an eager practice session?
Well, I mean, like when I used to
doesn't
use
check
spreadsheets all the time during World of Warcraft. When a high-level theory crafter released a spreadsheet, everyone used it. I imagine there's a lot of people out there using it. Eager trying to force this. We have seen many a game lost on objective pushes. They're not in a position to guarantee this here. Weekend coming in, and you see Omega coming in as well.
Mike taking a bit of damage before the fight even goes off, but Incon traded out too.
Whoa. Cyclone has already
No,
teleported.
let's take a listen to the comms here, boys, as PBM's going to move forward and Eager's going to initiate on Envyus.
Get the Zong.
I have shield for
Hun Batz, Hun
anyone.
Batz.
Shield for anyone. Shield for anyone. Shield for anyone.
Bellona ulti in the back.
Just kill Bellona. Kill Bellona. Kill Bellona. Everyone on
I'm
Bellona.
shielding
Hey,
there.
Xing.
Shielding there.
Look in the back. Look in the
We
back.
still go in.
I need
Go
help.
in, go in hard, go in hard.
need
I have a
Shield.
knockup. I have a knockup. I have
Bellona,
no shield, no
Bellona,
shield.
Bellona, Bellona, Bellona.
You're good, Omega.
Got it. Keep going.
That's her
I'm
beat.
fine.
back.
I'm gonna back. We can do gold.
Yeah, do it. Do it.
Head there.
I have shield and one. Shield's up for anyone. I'm just watching path. Be careful.
Good fight, good fight.
Shield for anyone.
That Zong is just getting blown up as soon as he ults.
Yeah. And the same with the Bellona. Like, she comes in, takes that poke.
Let's look
she
for
has
their
E,
buffs.
So no shield on the world or anything.
Let's look for their buffs.
Yeah, buffs. I don't have TP. We need to get these outer towers while they're all down. Or we
Purple's
maybe
up.
could have actually done fire or baited them into it, but
Small steps, man. Small steps.
yeah. I think maybe these outer towers are.
Yeah,
they're
We
on.
should group up right now.
Baby steps, name of the game here for Eager. Win a fight, take a little bit more. You can hear how happy they are with the chip that they're getting and the poke that they get onto the frontliners. The CycloneSpin and Incon moves forward. They're getting them down to 50% HP basically instantly with that Zeus combination.
2-2-2 reads Cyclone compared to Omega 3-0-6. The difference between Hun Batz and Mercury probably isn't that big. I think the biggest difference here is that PolarBearMike recognized the need for this shell, which has just eliminated Zhong Kui's usefulness throughout this later half of the mid game.
Yeah, definitely. And one thing too is Omega's just wreaking havoc in the back, whereas Bellona doesn't seem to be doing a ton. She's ulting in and then kind of just running around chasing people, but they're just ignoring her. Whereas you can't ignore Xing Chen, especially as Soul. You just get rooted and you
And
have to go Boreal.
I think Cyclone's like realizing that, right? Because he's going into an executioner now, which is like you can no longer ignore me because he's going to start, he's going to start hitting for about 200
Yeah.
to swing once he gets executioner online. But will that be enough? You know, when the shell's active, right? Because they're initiating at the same time as the Zhong Kui ultimate, so shell's going to be active, all that extra protection. Bellona's still not going to be that effective until that comes down, and then it's just a question of has Xing Chen just completely destroyed your backline by that point.
I think the main target she wants to focus on, the Zeus and the Xbalanque, are going to be having an okay time. Like even with that magical defense that she has, Zeus is still going to blow her up. Same with Xbalanque.
And you heard actually Eager in the comm saying Bellona doesn't have a shield of the underworld, nor can she build into one. So Zapman can just consistently tee off on her. Also, no Midgardian mail there, nor Witchblade. Nothing to really slow down that Xbalanque. It's very self-focused here is CycloneSpin's build. It's about him being able to do damage rather than him being effective against damage dealers.
Jumping in here, Omega trying to look for a play. He's going to knock to a big damage onto both Kiki and Weekend. Kiki, in fact, going to be forced to ult away. Incon going deep. They're going to try to take this initiation here, but Eager has complete control over
They walk
this.
right into that Zeus ultimate, shell active as well. Hun Batz ultimate, it's going to be too little too late here. I don't even think they can find a single kill off of this. They're going to move Bellona forward. She's going to be forced to ult out, leaping away as Weekend. Detonate happens nonetheless. 2 down nearly instantly. In comes a Thor. Beads come out right away from Weekend. Stun. He's going to make Weekend follow a very telegraphed path. They'll find that kill. Allied, he's going to get walked down here as well. Rising Jaguar, a couple in hands. Credited to PBM on the backside, moving in even more is DaretoCare. He'll get the Stone Shield to prevent too much of that Phoenix damage, but it's going to be base structures netted for Team Eager as Envyus is beginning to slip.
This is going to be the 10,000 gold lead where things really become unmanageable.
Are they moving in?
gonna
Let's
go
take the
for
Eager
it.
comms, guys. They're going to go
like
for the
this.
win here.
Coming in. Right here.
I need to not tank this anymore.
Yeah, I got ulti in 2.
GG,
There you go.
boys.
Good game,
GG.
boys. Good game. Good comeback.
Good shit.
There you go. Eager with the comeback. They get their first one of the set. And now, you got to think they're the favorites moving into Game 3 with the momentum.
Yeah, definitely. Eager seems to be a very momentum-based team. Like, if they get one game, they took 2 off Cloud9 in a row, like off that Zhong Kui win.
We have seen, though, a lot of times where they put themselves in the final game, and that's where things start to slip.
Yeah, it's definitely gonna be tough. I think they know how to deal with the Zhong Kui now. Obviously, the shell was pivotal in that game.
Yeah.
And even at the end, like you saw Incon trying to hard commit, maybe do something, get a huge ult off, but he just ulted into a Zeus ult, and you can't really do much late game Zeus.
Well, I mean, they had to commit in that last fight, right? There was nothing they could do aside from take that fight. If they backed off there, they would have lost 2 ultimates immediately, and that game was over.
Yeah.
They had to take it, and there was just no way they were fighting into it.
Well, they do what they can, but let's take a look at a little breakdown here of that last team fight. And there you can see the stats. 4 kills to 0 in that last team fight. Huge damage disparity as well.
A 4,000 damage difference, which is actually pretty stark.
Well, that's the shell, right? I mean, almost all of that Zhong Kui ultimate was mitigated.
Yeah.
Bellona wasn't able to ult into the fight. She was forced to ult out of the fight. The Hun Batz ultimate came in really late. It was a little miscoordination by Envyus there, and all things told, now Eager has that advantage of momentum going into game number 3. We'll see who will close it out and go on to represent North America in the wildcards versus Europe. Guys, let's toss it over to Kelly one more time to break down Envyus versus Eager. Take it away.
Thank you so much, Bart. Welcome back to the Analyst Lounge, everyone. Of course, Herwin joining us again. So, team comp-wise, it was the exact same except for Hun Batz on the jungle role, but obviously the outcome was very different. Why was that?
So the key factor was the Mercury ban. Another key factor was one team fight around the Gold Fury where the Xing 10 teleported in the backside, rotated in, killed the Zhong Kui, and then that team fight lasted like about a minute and a half, and it went in the favor of Eager afterwards. Another key factor was the Shell 3 on PolarBearMike.
Why don't we see more Shell 3s?
I think Shell 3 is just really good against Zhong, and that's what Eager realized. Last time, PolarBearMike, I think, kind of messed up with his actives. He went the Blink
beads.
and Beads, and the Beads weren't very effective. The Blink was completely useless because they were on the back foot, but really it was the Shell that was key for shutting down the Zhong Kui ults.
Right. Well, that was why we struggled the other day when we played them. Is we had to realize that the Zhong is just, if the team has a Geb on it and they have a Shell 3 and they're using it correctly, and they have a Heavenly as well, you're just not winning team fights anymore. When you pick a Zhong, you're just committing to having to win a team fight in one go, because you have to win with the Zhong ult. But when there's a Shell 3 active during the entirety of the Zhong ult, this makes team fights almost impossible to win.
And we saw that last team fight where they tried to all-in the Zeus.
Yeah.
You know, the Zhong Kui went all-in with the Athena ulti on top. They popped the shell. The Zeus used the Aegis to bait a lot of cooldowns, and then Envy had to retreat, and then Eager just chased him down.
But between game 1 and 2, Lassiz' Zeus was completely different. Hurry, what did you do differently on Zeus?
I'd say, well, one thing that was big the first game was Dare died early, and so Lass lost a lot of pressure in mid, and he couldn't get any of the mid camps early, and he fell behind because of that. In this game, Dare did a better job of using the pressure he had from Thor and being able to actually get some of those mid camps.
I think their team also played more defensively and didn't really allow... Envy was clearly trying to force stuff because they had a very similar comp, although Hun Batz instead of the Merc has a little bit less pressure early. And, you know, Eager was positioning themselves very well in the jungle. They were rotating to protect their team. And even though they did lose a couple early fights, they were okay with that because they were only down, I believe, 2K heading into the 25-minute mark. Yeah. And then even though Envy was able to win a very strong fight, 2-0, and start the gold, that Omega TP is really what turned it back in favor of Eager.
Why didn't the enemy team go TP?
They weren't aware of the cooldown, I have to assume. They had no idea that Omega was there. He came in and picked off Zhong. They thought the Gold Fury was free, honestly.
Yeah, I don't know. I think maybe they knew there was some risk. I don't know. I think they just kind of realized, Eager realized that game, what exactly they want to do. They remembered what they wanted to do the first game that they didn't do, which is they know they have the better late game team comp. They know they have to give up stuff early, and they know that they have to give those things up without dying. In the first game, they were dying in lane, and then they had to give up a lot more than you can early, and they just got snowballed. And this time, they kept the gold lead minimal. They didn't let it get out of hand. And when it came to the Gold Furies, they pressured them, and they just had no secure because they have a Zhong Kui.
Yeah, Envy in game 1, you know, they were taking that purple buff a lot. It seemed like they were only taking small leads, and that really worked to their advantage. But like you said, they were being way more aggressive in game 2. Were they just confident? Why did they change so much from game 1?
Well, they couldn't. It was different, right? Because in game 1 they had the early kills, so they were able to keep pressuring and keep grabbing small leads one after the other until eventually, I believe it was like the 15 or 16 minute mark where they were able to take Gold Fury, and then at that mark they were like 5,000 or 6,000 ahead. In this game, they only managed a 2K gold lead by that 25-minute mark, and then they had the big turnaround fight in favor of Eager, and then once they were behind, once the shell was online for the Zhong ults, and I think PolarBearMike really started to play the game a little bit better. He even actually picked up a Magi's, and Herwin was kind of indifferent about it, but he said the most important thing was that if he gets Hun Batz ult, he could have that shield for Lassiz.
He doesn't get caught up in the Hun Batz ult so that he can't shield one of his carries in a dire situation. So
yeah,
it's okay.
Hun Batz seemed a little weak there. And was that just because they banned out the Merc? Do you think that they're going to continue banning out the Merc so he might pick Hun Batz again, or is he going to go for a different jungle?
I think the Hun Batz had some moments that he shined in, but the Mercury definitely showed better results, obviously, for Weekend. And I think that the Merc ban was really good for Eager. Envy's going to have to kind of adapt if that Eager's going to ban Mercury again.
Then who would they go for?
Probably look for some form of hyper carry because they just didn't have enough burst damage to lock down the Zeus, especially with that Geb and the Shell.
Yeah, I was saying if they want to go with the same bans, I was thinking if they practice it, maybe Nemesis is good because it's particularly good.
But we haven't seen her work too well in any of these games, have we?
If you're going to go late game and you're against a Zhong Kui that you can't kill, I think that the one answer might be a Nemesis, but you really have to practice with it, and it has no pressure early again. So
Zeus was so strong. Do you think we're going to see a Zeus ban?
It depends on who's first pick and who's first ban. I could see Eager still first picking Zeus because I think Envy prefers Chaos Eyes, so we'll see this next game.
Dual lane wise, who do you think has the stronger dual lane out of these teams?
I don't think either of them have a super strong duo lane. Well,
they don't have a strong
the biggest problem is that PolarBearMike is new to the scene and Kiki's kind of new to the role. I think PolarBearMike, every once in a while, he just seems to forget. I don't know, like the Shell, I'd say in game 1, he just he got beads blink and that kind of cost them the game. Game 2, he realized it. So there's small mistakes coming out of PolarBearMike. Kiki's very new to the role, sometimes gets a little bit over aggressive, but it's weird. I think the supports are going to be playing a big factor, at least in game 3.
Well, then let's consider the Hunters. How do these two Hunters differ?
I think they're pretty equal right now. Allied
equal
has
in skill or like game style?
In skill. Game style, I think Allied is a little bit more passive. Although Zap isn't as aggressive as he used to be.
I don't know. I think people say that a lot, but like thus far you've seen Zap on Xbalanque and Allied on Sol, so obviously Sol should be dominating the lane regardless of their playstyle, and I think as pro players they understand that as it differs from god to god, they have to change up their playstyle, and they're doing that.
I know we've talked about this a little bit, but overvaluing Sol, are people still doing it? Is she still overvalued, or is she appropriate in that?
Well, the first game we saw her last picked, and then the next game they had a little mind game battle between the two teams where Eager first picked Zeus, and then immediately after that it was the Sol Bellona, and I think that Envy was afraid that Eager was going to pick Sol. So they wanted to take that away, like, okay, we did good with Sol the first game, let's not give Eager Sol the second game. Like, they forgot about it. We kind of didn't really want it, but we had the option, so we took it the first game.
But by picking Sol, what are they sacrificing?
I mean, they didn't really end up sacrificing much, I think, in that game. I believe the Mercury in game 1. Actually, it was the Merc. It was the Merc that they sacrificed because they picked Merc in the top half of the draft the first time, and then it got banned out because they picked the Sol in its place for game 2. So
if they don't get Sol, who is Allied going to play?
I think Allied would probably play. I think because they're kind of going for like pressure early. It seems like every time they're dueling, I don't think they'd pick Neath, but I think they might pick like Hu Yi, maybe Neath. I'm not exactly sure though. Allied's just been picking Sol every time it's open. He loves that god.
What about Geb? He didn't really do too well in the first days of competition, but he seems to be doing a lot better now.
Yeah, especially when you have an all-in comp that Envy had, trying to kill this Zeus. You know, Zeus is going to Aegis himself. You have the Geb shield on top of that. It's a lot of protections available to protect and consistent damage coming out of the Zeus.
Well, I know I keep bringing this point up, but it's really important. But it's very important for these two teams is the passion behind them, and Eager has that momentum going on. Do you think Eager is going to take this 2-1?
I would rather just flip a coin right now than predict this next game.
Do you agree?
I'm flipping a coin too. I mean, both teams right now, I think, are going to be feeling very confident that they took a game. I thought that it could just be a 2-0 because the first team would get down, but Eager really stuck to their guns, stuck to their team comp, and I think just played it a little bit better. Picks and bans, going to be the deciding factor. If a team has a high-pressure early comp and no pressure, I think it's over for them, though.
So you say picks and bans are going to be the deciding factor, but there was only really one difference in that picks and bans, and that was Mercury. So
it's how they played. I think if the teams execute their team comps properly, it'll come down to that.
I think I'd be willing to say that whatever team, if they've got any kind of strategy that they've been waiting to use, or if they've got any kind of team
now's the time
comps,
to use it.
I think they should, whatever team brings that team comp out might win because everyone's sticking to these same picks, same priorities, and I think that everyone's just used to playing against these same team comps. I think if someone brought something out that was new, I think that they might take the win.
Well, we're about to find out who's going to be making it into the wild card. Let's go to the casters for Game 3.